Hello my angels, welcome back to my channel. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome. Sduzondo, and we do all things motherhood and lifestyle. Yeah, welcome you guys. Welcome to Vlogtober. I know Vlogtober is vloggy, but this is a sit down, okay? You guys, I kid you not, this is a video I've been meaning to do for months. And at this point, I was starting to become like a person ongathembakele because angazi kwakunini ngithi please ask me a question and I never respond to those questions. Sis. I've also had quite a few guys, my angels. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for popping me DMs on Instagram, suggesting, giving me suggestions, giving me video suggestions. I love that and I appreciate you guys for doing that. So I was like, you know what, let me get to it. I will. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna give you guys a bit of a background, like a short little nyana background before we get into it. So I am about to turn 30 this December. I'm 29. I have a 6-year-old daughter. If you've been watching my vlogs, you would have seen her. I have been single for a good 6 years, you guys. I've been a single mom for a good 6 years. I like to say I've been a single mom since my child's birth, which is actually quite crazy. I feel like, guys, time flies by so quickly. So we've been doing that, and by God's grace, we've made it this far. I can't believe I'm about to be 30 with the 6-year-old. Like, that is just crazy. And when I think about the fact that he is going to grade 1 next year, like, mind blown, you guys. But uNkulunkulu uyasithanda and uNkulunkulu usasicinile, and I am so grateful. I am currently living in Joburg. So originally I'm from KZN, grew up in KZN, went to primary in KZN, high school KZN, then officially I moved to Joburg for varsity. I went to the University of Johannesburg, Ngafunde UJ, guys. I did accounting, I did BCom accounting, and I am currently a corporate girly. I work for a bank. I'm not going to mention which bank, but I just work for a corporate bank. So yeah, that's a bit of a background in terms of my career, guys. I honestly do not have any advice when it comes to a career, because nami I am still trying to figure it out. To be quite honest, I just want to be a housewife. This corporate thing is not for me, guys. This corporate thing is not for me, okay? But yeah, but that's just the background of it. Okay, you guys are not sure about you guys want the juicy stuff, you know. Okay, let's get into it, you guys. Let's talk about dating as a single mom. These questions have questions within questions, you know, but I'm going to try and just summarize and make everything a beautiful story. So one person asked me about moving on from my previous situation, which is the father of my child. It ended quite quickly because originally this whole thing happened like in Joburg, and I'm going to try and share with you guys, but also be respectful to the fact that this also involves other people. Originally met here and everything, and then when we found out that I was pregnant, I had to move home. So I gave birth at home and all of that. So it was like a long distance thing. But to be quite honest, I think it's something that only lasted through the pregnancy period. I don't even want to say Guti when our baby was here. It was something that continued because not really. It ended quite quickly. And if I am just being plain, because someone did ask me, how did I get over it, or how did I move on? For me, I think it was just a realization of the fact that we were not meant for each other. Raising a human together at that time when we had a little baby, you guys, was so difficult for us to agree like on the basic mundane things. We would fight over the smallest things. So I think there and then, it made it obvious, you know what, we are not meant for each other. We are not compatible at all. And I do think that there's a certain period where I sort of think we try to make things work for the sake of we have umntwana, but honestly, yeah, no, we were just not meant to be. And you guys, coming to these realizations, it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. For me, this was like 6 years ago. So I've had to process everything over the years. I've had to understand certain situations that happen at that time and make peace with it and accept those things. For the person who asked me, Guti, how do you actually move on? First important thing is that for me, which I felt was very important, is to not stay in a relationship just because of umntwana. You guys be in a relationship because you guys love each other, and do not be in a situation that is toxic and that is not for you. Be with someone that's not compatible with you. Be with someone that's not meant for you just because you guys have a baby. I think for me, the hardest thing was moving on from that situation, mainly because I felt guilty. Like, it's the mom guilt. I felt so guilty, you guys. I was like, oh my goodness, umtanami, you know, because we all have this idea of ukuthi a child should be raised in a home with the mom and the dad, the traditional way of doing things. I think I beat myself up because of that, and I struggled to be okay with that. And all I just want to say is, looking back, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I stuck to it. I'm so grateful I made peace with it and I moved on, because I think at the end of the day, the important thing is for umntwana to grow up in a loving home with two people who love each other, regardless of whether it's two biological parents or it's not no. When you umntwana ekhula and you realize the importance of it, umntwana just needs love, you guys. Because what's the point you being in a relationship that's toxic and a relationship that's good and ekhulisa umntwana in that? No. If you are a new mom and maybe you want to move on, or you're struggling with moving on, I just want you to know that in the next few years or in the next few months, it's all going to be worth it and it's all going to make sense eventually. I know in this very moment it's not going to make sense, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be sad, and it's going to be painful, and it's going to be the worst heartbreak. But guys, down the line, it is absolutely worth it. That's my experience. I am so grateful I made the decisions that I made. And yeah, when was I ready to then start dating? I think I was quite ready maybe after a year or two. But let me tell you something. Someone did ask me, how is it dating as a single mom? Dating as a single mom is not easy. It's not easy at all, because once you are a mom, you are so picky. Like, guys, after that period, I was so picky. Like, the smallest things would turn me off. The smallest things would turn me off. So it was really difficult. I had to adjust to that. And to be quite honest, when I look at it, I don't think it's a negative thing. I think it's a positive thing, because it means your standards are high, which is good, because it means because, you know, I'm a standard dog, and that's not a bad thing at all, guys. We deserve the best. Okay, we are amazing. So we deserve the best. I think one of the things that I struggled with was dating guys who didn't have kids, like not kids, but a guy who was not a parent as well. It was just hard for us to relate. I remember there was this other guy who was courting me many years ago, and he didn't have a child. Oh, guys, it was so difficult. Like, little things he would say would just annoy me. And I know that he was trying to say those things, and they were coming from a place of, I'm trying to make you feel comfortable, and I'm trying to make you feel like I'm okay with you having a child. Instead, it annoyed me, because I was like, there's no need, let's just date. Like, don't make everything about me being a mom. You know, I'm still a human, I'm a mom, but I'm still a human at the end of the day. Relax. Dating a guy that was not a parent as well didn't work well for me, but not that I completely said but after that experience, I made a conscious decision. I did see one or two people who didn't have kids, but after that I realized, you know, I think I want to be open to people who, like, men who also have kids, or who are parents as well. So it's just because I made that decision, I would like to date people who are parents as well, men who are parents as well. It might be different for you. The other reason why I felt like dating as a single mom at the time was very difficult is that I remember there was a time where, like, my friends, I would always say, yeah, I'm ready to date, I'm ready to meet people, you guys. And the minute a man says hi, yo, I don't know why, but I also think it was just preferences, and I was just more pickier, and but that was like the only difficult that I faced when it comes to starting to date again. right, starting to date again. But eventually I opened myself up to dating. And then another thing that had changed for me when I started dating again, you guys, was that if I felt like it was not working out, like I would not let it linger for long. So if in my red flags, I start seeing a person, the person takes me out on a date, and it becomes those things where now I need to wonder, when is he gonna text me? No. Men who are not intentional, I made it a stand to say, no, I'm not into that anymore. So the minute I felt like a man was wasting my time, we're cutting them, we're moving on to the next one. And that is something I learned from my friends as well. Oguti, guys, let's stop wasting time dating. When you're dating a guy and you see Uguti, this guy is not serious, don't just stop wasting your time. So I had gotten to that point as well, especially for me, because being nomdwana. Another thing, when it came to dating, you guys, the people that I was dating, them meeting my child, that was a no. That was a no, not happening. So I dated people and those people never met my child. For years, you guys, I would date and my child would never hear me say babe or I love you over the nothing. Okay. Nothing. So for the longest time, you guys, dating for me, I think probably according to my child, was non-existent, because very important to Gutumtanami, the type of person that my child would meet. I always used to say, Guti, my child is going to meet my husband. So I never played around in that department. No. Because for me, my goal is for my child to only meet one man and one man only. No, we're not doing that. I don't want to ruin my child. I don't want to ruin my child mentally. No. So that part was really difficult. I had to set strict rules, strict boundaries, and all of that when it came to my child and me dating Uguti, which is why I think with that guy I mentioned, Uguti, he would bring up like me being a mom all the time, and it would annoy me because I think sometimes I'm a human as well. Before I'm a mom, okay, I'm a mom first, but treat me like a normal person. So yeah, I remember this guy. You know what, let me not keep out of my file about it, but I remember this guy. The one thing that turned me off, he basically was letting me know, Guti, he wants us to go out on a play date and he's gonna bring his niece or whatever. Ugh. I was just so bored. I was like, really? Let's talk about me and you going out on a date first before we talk about play dates. Like, why are we talking about play dates? You still quoting me. Yeah. Anyway, cut him off fast. So that is one bit, dating as a single mom. And how I went about it. I was very strict, you guys. No man is gonna meet my child. Nothing. Endlini. Phone calls. I put that life separate. I know it's all different for all of us. For me, if you're new here, I do co-parent with the father of my child. We do co-parent. So every second weekend, Uzuibu goes to his side of the family or visits him. And also during school holidays, some school holidays we alternate, ahambe go kwakhe or be with me, whatever the case is. So for me, I made sure at that time, when I have time to myself, that was the time I would utilize for me to actually date or for me to see people or for me, yeah. But when my child was around, no, it didn't happen. Yeah, so that's how I went about it. At first, obviously, things changed. And then before I talk about the nice things right at the end, the happy good things, let's talk about co-parenting, because I've already mentioned Guti. Guys, there are so many questions here, but I think everything I say is going to sort of like answer questions that you guys asked. So let's talk about co-parenting. So I think it's something that I just kept off social media, and I would just come here and say, oh, co-parenting, we went to her dad and all of that. But you guys, it was not easy. It's still not. Co-parenting is hard. I do not have any advice for co-parenting whatsoever because it is hard. Okay, 6 years later and still angazi kwenzakalani la. Kwa co-parenting, I don't know, you guys. It's just a hard, toxic situation. I don't know, for people who say we co-parenting and we get along, wow. Yeah, I've just made peace with the fact that maybe we're never gonna get along, and that's okay. So I honestly do not have any advice whatsoever when it comes to that. All I know is that we just better stick to the rules that are made, and the rules that are made, and the things that we need to stick to, basically, when it comes to our responsibilities and making sure Umntana has a relationship with both of us. Otherwise, that part, you guys, was a very, very rocky. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not gonna dive into it. And then something that I also silently went through, and I just feel like, why not share now? Something that I also silently went through beginning of this year was maintenance court. Yep, you guys, I've been through it. That process is hard. But I'm just grateful to God. So we did go to maintenance court. Like I said, co-parenting is not great at all, but we try. So we did end up going to court. So in court, we had a family, visiting rights, or like the schedule drafted, basically. Is it a schedule? What is it called again? Family visiting something. Okay, guys. Basically, I forgot the actual term. But a contract basically that says ukuthi umntana is gonna see ubaba wakhe every second weekend, or umntana is gonna see ingane every third day, whatever you guys agree on. So we have that drafted by the court in pen and paper, contract signed and sealed. So yeah, that was done. So like I said, the schedule that we have, it was based on court. It's the court order, so we can't breach it or anything like that. And then we also went to court for maintenance, for my child's allowance, the amount of money that her dad needs to send every month to maintain her, and all of that. So guys, I went through all of that, and I'm not really going to get in depth in terms of the details of it, but one person that really encouraged me was Umandisa Dlangisa. I hope I'm not butchering her name, Millennial Mom. I think I'm butchering her surname. Mandisa Dlangisa. Yeah, Mandisa Dlangisa. Yeah, not butchering her surname. Love her to bits. Oh my goodness, I love her. She honestly, her channel encouraged me. It really did. It was just getting too toxic, you guys. It was inconsistent. So we needed like something that was written down, like a proper structure on paper according to the law. So that was done. Oh, terrible period of my life, you guys. But from watching Umandisa, her vlogs, her sit downs, everything, she honestly encouraged me, and I'm so glad that process, we went through it and it was done. And the craziest thing, you guys, my man was by my side each and every day, and each and every moment of that process that I went through with the court and everything. He was there, guys. There. And you should go to there as in like support, taking me to court, fetching me from court, having to wait for me until whatever's done, helping me with everything, you guys, figuring out the forms. So blessed. So yeah, I did go through the process. Not only just him, my friends were very supportive. My girls, oh my goodness, love them. Very supportive, there for me. And yeah, it was definitely a difficult process, but I'm glad that I went through it. So if you're a single mom and you're struggling with inconsistency, whatever it may be, whether it's visiting, whether it's maintenance, money, whatever, guys, please go to court. And I remember Mandisa used to say, Guti, equality is always on the child's side. She never lied. Like, she never lied. Labana, they don't care. Gutu ubanuti ni. Why are you guys are fighting? Who said what? They don't care. What matters for them is for a child to just have that stability, you know. So yeah, that went, and I'm so grateful again to God. So all I want to say is, if you're a single mom and you're going through it, you guys, ungasabi. It's a daunting process, but once it's done, the peace of mind that you get, ulala kamnandi ebusuku. Ulala kamnandi ebusuku, I'm telling you. So yeah, Mandisa always says, yeah, I'm gonna fight for my babies. So love her so much. Yeah, I did go through that process, but for me, I am sort of like a private person, and I didn't really wanna, like, yeah, I am a private person, you guys. So, but yeah, I am good to share. Now, it happened months ago, so we good there. So, and you guys, on social media, look, it's a co-parenting, and think it's perfect. It's not, guys. It's on Goa. But to all you mommies, guys, go to court. And then someone did ask me how I juggle being a mom and being a corporate girly. Like I said, guys, I'm a housewife. But basically, guys, you just do it. Okay, I just don't know. How do I do it? I don't know, guys. Every day I need to go to work, and I go to work. Every day I need to be a mom, and I am a mom. Wake up in the morning routines, getting my child ready for school, go to work, come back, nje. We like kunzima, but we all do it. And now your child is gonna grow up and be like, oh, my child is 6. Oh my goodness, I've been doing it. You know, yeah, I think for me, what honestly helps me, and I'm so grateful, and I don't take it lightly, me having the fact that I have a co-parent, and Uzibu can go that side. And during those times, those are the times when I get to recharge. Those are the times when I get to do the things that I want to do for myself, and just rest from a long week of work. Yeah, I think that really does help me. I do also want to say, because I know not all mommies have the luxury to do that, another very important thing, you guys, is to also reach out to people who are close to you. Mina, if I, like this weekend, when I had to go to my friend's birthday lunch, I asked my cousin, who's like my sister, Uti Kenzi would just stay there for a few hours so I can just go spend time with my friends. Do that. Reach out to people who care about you and people who love you, just for them to spend a few hours namdana while you do the things that make you happy, or just for you to get to recharge, yabo. Because I do know not all of us have a co-parent. Yeah, so I think just that. Open up, be open to opening up to your family members, your friends, whatever. Mina, I've even asked my friends as unomzamo, like unomzamo was the one person who I've said, friend, what are you doing? Kenzubu, and Zubu loves unomzamo. So just those people who are close to you, I mean, it takes a village, guys. So for me, what really helped me is accepting what I'm going to need help, and it's okay. I'm a very protective mom, so like really people that I can let Uzu would just go there and just sleep over or spend like a weekend with. It has to be someone who's really close to me. Yeah, because I am crazy, like I'm protective. Uzu always says that she's still protective. So yeah, so I would say if you're a single mom, and this will also help in line with dating, like for you to be able to go see your partner, spend time with your partner, just be open to asking family members for help. That also works for me as well if you feel like you do not have a co-parent. Yeah, that is that. Okay, I answered that. How did I move on? How do I juggle motherhood and work? Okay, I answered that. Okay, cool. Someone asked, how easy or difficult was it to meet a potential boyfriend? Tips of dating as a single mom. I think I sort of like touched a bit on that, guys. Dating or getting the potential good guy for you as a single mom is hard, like I said. But tips for me, I'm a standard. Don't feel bad. Do you understand? Don't feel bad for your standards being high, because you understand whichever partner you end up with is also going to have to be around your child. So keep those standards high for me, I also think ukuthi holding on, introducing umntanakho, guys, that's also okay. Like I said before, my partner right now he's the only person that has ever met Uzwibu. And God willingly will only be the person that's ever gonna meet Uzwibu. So like for me, I would say hold on to that. Ungaveli, don't introduce your child to just any and every guy that you date, especially those guys obabona ukuthi as long mosheli isikhathi, don't do it. Yeah, that's another tip. Standards awakhuphuke. Holding back a bit from introducing your partner or whoever you're dating to your child, that as well. What else? Be open, you guys. Be open. And I think also the very, very important thing is before you start dating, accept and move on and be okay with your situation that's in the past. Ube right, move on completely. Don't start dating and do sabambelele in that situation. No matter how long it takes for you to heal after that situation, it's okay, but do it when you're ready. Yeah, that would be a tip for me. And another thing, don't stay in a relationship for the wrong reasons. I think especially for us as moms, we have a lot of mom guilt. Don't do that, whether it's staying with your baby daddy, whether it's staying with the guy that you, whatever the case may be. Don't be in a relationship for the wrong reasons. I think for me the biggest thing is, I always think ukuthi mina right now, my dating only affected me back in the day, but now, my dating affects my child as well. So I need to be very strict. I need to know what I want. Yeah, not only just for myself, but also for my child. So yeah, those, I don't know, I hope those are good enough. But yeah, I think those are just up there. Okay. Okay, before we get into that other, someone asked advice. So you guys, this is on my diary. Ne? Someone said advice, guys. Did I even show you? What was, guys? I just keep running out of storage. Advice on mommy who want to live with their kids full time. So for me, you guys, I think the one biggest advice is that, because okay, if you're new here, before I didn't live with my child, she lived with Tukogwake, which is her father's mom, and they live here in Joburg. So yeah, so when we moved here, back here from back home, and I didn't live with her, guys, the toughest time of my life. I don't want to ever go through that ever again. Is so difficult, and my heart goes out to all the mommies who don't live with their babies. Oh my goodness, it is so difficult. But the advice that I give to you is that if you are planning to live with your child full time, please plan for it financially, guys. Be prepared. That is the only advice I'm gonna give. Be prepared financially. Okay, know your story. For me, the biggest thing, I'd say be prepared financially. Know where you guys are gonna live before you even land. Ube idea to where you guys going to live, the schools around your area and all of that. Be prepared, but mostly be prepared financially, because I think emotionally, guys, as ups and downs. So but financially, please be prepared. That's the biggest thing for me. My biggest thing when I was going to live with Uzwibu is that I really wanted us to find a place that we can make home for us for a couple of years. So we've lived in this apartment for years, you guys, and Uzwibu, I think in the area, has only gone to 2 schools. So for me, consistency in terms of where we lived was very important. I never wanted Uzwibu to feel like, oh my goodness, we moved apartments 5 times, you know, over the 5 years or whatever. Like, I just really wanted her to have a stable place that she can call home, which is why we've been in this apartment for years. Okay. God willingly, I'm hoping Uguti, when we move again, we're gonna be moving to bigger and better things. But I think I would have moved almost like every year, found a new place and all of that. But because of Umtanami, I really wanted her to have consistency when it came to environment, and the area and everything. So we've been here for a couple of years, and yeah, that's great. So if you are going to move with your child, consider the schools in the area. Can you afford it? How much money do you need to have? All of that, you guys. And I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was not prepared. But from what I learned to Guti, just be prepared. Know your story when it comes to your finances, because ukuhlala nomntwana full time is not the same as sending an allowance every month. It's different. There's more expenses. There are a lot of things that come up. So yeah, just be prepared. Just be prepared financially. I'm going to be quick, you guys, because it's getting dark. What age did Uzuibu start creche? And what's my preference between creche and uanti? So Uzuibu, when she was living that side, she did have uanti for a good year. Yeah, for a good year or two. Yeah, for a good year or two. Help her, and eventually she started school. So when she started school, which year was it? Yo guys, I'm gonna put the year on the screen, and how the year that she started creche. So for me, honestly, I would pick school over creche any day, because I just feel like eskoleni, they basically learn social skills. They get to socialize with other kids, they get to make friends and all of that. But mahlele ekhaya no auntie ufunda mahlele ekhaya no auntie babuka ukhokhomelon uauntie abuke amzansi magic ama-shows wakhe, and then umntana ufundani from that. So for me, I would always go for creche, you guys. I would always go for creche. Yeah, over auntie. Not that auntie agasizi, uyasiza obviously, but for me, first preference is creche, you guys. Mainly because I don't think, especially auntie uzo cleaner and do all of these household chores. So the auntie doesn't really get that time. So, and I think that's just also a lot to ask, to be quite honest. So for me, I would pick creche over auntie based on that. Okay, and then I think this other question is that basically, how did I the idea of being a single mom, was I ashamed of it and all of that? No. The only thing I stressed over, you guys, was just the whole thing. Imam girl Tanami is not gonna have umama no baba abamzala in the same household, bamkhulisa and stuff. But I was ashamed. No, not me, guys. No. I did have certain people in my life who was like, no, but I, guys, I'm not going to be in a situation that doesn't make sense because I'm going to be ashamed of being a single mother. Guys, ukuba a single mother doesn't mean ukuthi usuyafa kuphelile ngawe. Aibo. No. So yeah, no guys, I was never ashamed. I wanted to make the decisions for myself and for Mtanami. So yeah, and I'm glad I did. Now currently me dating my partner. So I did see a question that says, how did we meet? So I do plan on sharing a story time about how we met on a separate video. It's also coming this month, you guys. We're gonna do all of these videos this month. So I'm not gonna answer that question now. Okay, cool. So how did I introduce him to my baby, to Uzwibuya? So you guys, this was actually quite funny how it happened. So for me, the biggest thing with my current relationship and my forever relationship, okay, is that everything happened naturally for me. So the biggest thing was that I wanted everything to happen naturally for us, for Uzwibuya. So how we introduced her is that we, like I said, wanted everything to happen naturally. So we thought of the idea of maybe us going out and me officially saying ta-da. But I was like, no, I feel like that's just too much pressure. So my partner and I, you guys, we spent a lot of time together. When I say a lot of time, I mean a lot of time. On weekends, we together. During the week, we together because we don't live far from each other, and he doesn't work far from here. So we spent a lot of time together. So what used to happen is that we'd work during the week when I'm working from home. We'd spend some time together. So when transporters would come and drop her off, you'd find that he's here, then we have to like hide and all of that. It was a whole process. Okay, so it came to a point where it was difficult for us to hide our relationship because we would spend time together like consistently. So because we didn't only spend time when Uzwibu was away to her, was at her dad's, we'd also spend time during the times when she was around, obviously when she's at school. It just became hard to hide it. So I remember how they met is that it was just this one time where he was dropping me off, and same time he was dropping me off by my place, like we parking lots. It Zubu does take transport to school. It was also dropping her off at the same time, and I was like, damn, you know, she was starting to notice like Zubu is smart. She's a sharp girl, okay. So she was starting to notice. So that one day, guys, and it was not planned at all. I just felt like, okay, all right, she saw us, cool. And she got out of the car, greeted me and everything. Then I was just like to her, go say hi to my friend there, you know. And then she was like, oh, okay. Guys, I tell you, Zubu is the sweetest child. Like I'm not even saying this because umtanami. Like Uzu was honestly the kindest, sweetest little soul ever, you know. So she was happy. She was like, okay, hello, how are you? And he was like, hello. He's also amazing. So he was just like, also, hello. They greeted each other. And yeah, that's what happened though. That's how they met the first time. And also another reason why it was starting to become difficult to hide is because my man is like a person who he's full of surprises. Like my man will surprise me. My man surprises me every month, you guys, in a sense of but getting me flowers, getting me my favorite desserts, getting me whatever, you know. I can maybe, the other time I was complaining about it's hard to cut meat. Actually yesterday I was complaining it's hard to cut meat with with the knife and all of that, and he bought me that with that scissors thingy, your chopping yama, and he just rocked up and he was like, I have something for you. Like he's just that type of a guy who's just always surprising me. It's not only just flowers, and even like practical things that I might complain about in to say, oh, I don't have this, and he just rocks up and he does it. So because he's that type of a person, Uzibu would always see these things with flowers. Okay, who bought us sushi? I remember the first time when he bought me flowers, I had to lie and I was like, yeah, Auntie Nomzamo. And then Uzi was like, Auntie Nomzamo says my flower. So because of that, you guys, it became very obvious at some point. And I remember Uzi once asked me a question and she was like, Mom, do you just want to be a mom only for the rest of your life? Don't you want to be a wife? I was like, sorry. Guys, kids are smart. So I think because of the relationship that I have with my partner, it just happened so seamlessly. What is seamlessly? It was simple, guys. It was easy. It just happened easily. It wasn't difficult at all. And then after that, he'd also buy, when he gets something for me, he'd get something for Zuibu, buy us McDonald's, and yeah, it was just that, you guys. And with us spending time together and him popping in and saying hi and greeting and just us spending random times together, I officially had the talk with her, and she asked me, so what's going on? And then I was like, okay, it's our little secret. Mommy has a boyfriend. And she was like, oh, she was so excited. She was like, oh, yay, finally. Yeah, she was so happy. And I was like, what? Like, she just amazed me. Like, I was like, okay. But I also think maybe it's her age, angazi. So yeah, so someone asked me, Uguti, so what does she call him? And what if you guys was like, so what does your kid call your partner? Because mine, umbiza ngomalume, and it's just so awkward. Uti uncle. Guys, Uzubu calls him uncle. It's so awkward. The first time it happened, my partner was like, eh? Because like when we're in public, you find she's like, mommy, uncle. And then, yeah. But for me, again, her saying uncle came from her. my biggest thing, you guys, is for things to happen naturally. So them building a relationship, it happened naturally. And like to a point where like it would amaze me when he's around, like she'd be so happy, hug him, and you know, it was the cutest thing to watch. But also, guys, umuntu wami unenhliziyo enhle. Like my man has a good heart, so I think, you know, kids can sense. So yeah, so she'd get excited even now when he leaves and it's time for him to leave. She's always like, no uncle, don't go. Yeah, which is the cutest thing ever. So I think the biggest thing, you guys, when you decide, for me that is, I don't know if you guys can take this advice or not, if you finally decide that you're going to introduce your partner to your child, let it happen naturally. I think that's the best thing. Even what she calls him, let it come from umntwana, because I do know at some point when they build a relationship, and as the relationship progresses between the two of them, because they also have their own relationship to build, then we could obviously have a better conversation with, okay, ubaba, stepdad, whatever, you know. But obviously in our culture, what's his stepdad, you know. But yeah, even though saying uncle is uncomfortable, you guys, we're okay with it. We've accepted it because it's comfortable for her. I do not want to force anything down my child's throat. No, you know. So, and I think me introducing them and her loving him or just liking him the way that she does made me even love him more. Yeah, well, because it's like, oh my goodness, it's the cutest thing to watch. Their bond is amazing. So that's how I introduced my partner to my child. And also, how did I know that it was time, or how did I know I was ready to introduce him to my child? So the biggest, very important thing, guys, like I said, any other guy that I've dated in the past, she never was introduced to any of them. So for me, the biggest thing, and what's different with my partner now, you guys, this guy, when I started dating him, he was very intentional from the get-go. Okay, so I've never dated a man that is so intentional, a man that knows what he wants. I think for me, that just topped it all. His intention, his love, how caring he is, how supportive he is. Like I told you guys, even through my court process, my maintenance process, he was there, guys. Mina benghamba with my partner ecourts, ahlalela next to me by the benches. Okay, so yeah, just the type of person that he is. Just for me, enhlizweni yami, there was no angikho sure. No, I had no doubt whatsoever, and I knew. And also, I think the biggest thing is because I know the intentions that he has for me as his partner, as his girlfriend, and I know the intentions that he has for our relationship. So that made it easy for me to introduce him to my child. And just how loving he is. And I think umuntu can have intentions, umuntu can tell you, this is what I want to do, these are my goals, this is what I'm planning, but it needs to be followed by actions. So this is not just based on what he says or what, based on actions. And for me, I've been with that man for months, and there has never been any wavering or any unkosho from the get-go. When we started dating and he asked me to be his girlfriend, he's been intentional and he's shown it through his actions. So uthando like, not only do I see through what he says, but my actions wake, like I'm just so blessed. So yeah, that is how I knew, you guys, just intentions and what he wants. And the goal that we have for our relationship made it easy for me, because nami futhi bengafuni ukuthi one thing vuke nje nendoda imntana mangamazi ukuthi hayibo ubani manje lo, you know. But yeah, that's what made it easy. Yeah, so I and to be quite honest, Uzibu responded amazingly, you guys. She was just amazing. Her response was positive. It was more than I expected. It was more than I imagined. It was more than what I prayed for, and I'm so grateful. And I think seeing that is what's confirmed game Uguti. I'm doing the right thing. I am really doing the right thing. Obviously it's scary, don't get me wrong, it's scary, you guys. It's scary, it is scary, like I'm not going to lie, but ngiyazi ukuthi uNkulunkulu ungibekele into enhle, and I've always known ukuthi uNkulunkulu ungibekele a beautiful life after that, which is why I'm saying ukuthi when you're in that situation where it's not easy for you to move on with the father, move on from your father of your child, or not be ashamed ukuthi abantu bazothini, or the idea of, oh my goodness, being a single mom, I'm telling you, you guys, it is all worth it at the end of the day. And uNkulunkulu uyazi izinto asibekele zona. And for me, I always say ukuthi the importance is for my child to live in a household la kunothando khona, with people who love each other, regardless of whether it's the biological dad, biological whatever. You know, that's not important. And umntwana, what matters is uthando. Abantwana bakhuliswa ngothando, you guys. So that's just the important thing.